Namaskar. Welcome to this brand new episode of our program, The Guest in Town. From today onward, we are going to start the next season of this program, Guest in Town. And on this first episode of our program, we have our guest in town from India. To introduce him, he is the Chairman and the Managing Director of National Insurance Company Limited, and he is K.Sanatkumar. Let me welcome him. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Nepal. Welcome to Himalaya.
Thank you very much.
I heard that this is the first visit of yours. Don't you feel that before you should have come to Nepal?
Oh yes, it is my first visit, and I certainly feel that I should have been here much before. Yes.
When did you come to Nepal?
Yesterday.
So today you are leaving.
Yes.
Are you going to come in?
I should be coming. I would be coming because we have, as you know, a branch office operations in Kathmandu, and we have 11 branches across various places as
11 branches.
11 branches across the country, in Nepal
Which
country.
places?
I cannot immediately recount. There are all kinds of places out there. Even in rural areas also we have branches. So I will certainly be coming here. This is a fully owned branch office of ours.
So what is the basic purpose of this visit of yours?
Basic purpose was to participate in the third reinsurers and insurers meeting organized by Bima Samiti for the SAARC country.
Okay.
So we are a major presence in India in general insurance company. So we had to be here today.
Can you please highlight some of the core of that program?
A core of the program, sir, it was addressed by the, it's organized by Bima Samiti. And very interestingly, it had expert topics being covered by specialists in the areas, in reinsurance, in agricultural insurance, in solvency margin, in penetration. And I believe most of the contemporary topics have been covered here.
Okay.
It's quite well organized, and I've been complimenting the organizers yesterday that you have chosen the subjects quite well.
It had chosen the subject of agriculture policy and regarding those
Everything. Yeah.
livestock.
Yeah. In fact, the most interesting aspect of this conference, what I would see is, apart from insurance specialists, there were also domain specialists like university professors, management experts, geology specialists, participating into, so that both the views are brought.
So can you please highlight the current situation, or let's say the current doings of national insurance in Nepal?
So National Insurance Company has been here from 1974 onwards.
It's almost around 30 to 40 years?
Almost. So that has been quite a long presence, and we are here to stay on a long term to participate in nation's economy through our contributions to the non-life industry. We did about 720 million Nepalese rupees business last year, and we've been growing every year. We offer all kind of products here in the market, starting from fire, motor insurance, agricultural insurance, everything we do provide into the market. In fact, we are quite excited at the discussions in these 2-day deliberations organized by Bima Samiti, which says that there will be a lot of thrust on rural insurance, agricultural insurance, livestock insurance, and all that in the coming days. The government is seriously looking into spreading the message across.
What is the overall business scenario?
Overall business area, we find there are about 17 general insurance companies in this country, and they're growing at about 12 to 13%. And predominantly the business is driven by motor, which is a typical picture you take in every developing economies. Motor and health insurance are the main drivers of non-life insurance business.
Can you please compare the past and the present? Since it's been so long that national insurance is doing insurance-related business in Nepal. Can you please highlight those days and now?
Yes, obviously I can, because competition has increased, because more players have started coming in. And one thing is the demands from the customer side, expectation from the customer side has really gone on a huge proportion, gone up in a huge proportion. Today they want service, better service. I mean, earlier also they wanted better service. Today they want the service quicker and at their doorsteps. And they would like to deliver it digitally. So a lot of people are expecting that I should be informed about every stages of my claim, every stages of my policy. I should be allowed to see my policies. I should access the insurance companies in social media. I mean, expectation of the younger crowd is growing exponentially well. Yeah. So we need to live up to that challenge.
Urban area as well as the rural side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is the condition, specifically focusing on the rural Nepal?
So we have been allocated 5 districts in Nepal for developing rural insurance. That is being addressed by 2 of 4 branches. We have designated for this. So they are working on rural insurance. It just started 1 year back. This kind of earmarking of territories to insurance companies and asking them to grow the rural insurance business has been only 1 year. And we have a lot of expertise in handling rural insurance with National Insurance Company's head office. So we expect that some of them can be translated here and made our rural insurance foray much more successful and greater.
Can you please say some? Can you please suggest some in this specific manner?
I would say, for example, a lot of banks gives advances to farmers for buying livestock, for small agricultural implements, for creating small agricultural assets. We can have specific low-cost insurance policies to cover all those. So when the farmer is faced with a kind of damage, for example, his livestock dies due to an accident or there is a fire in his household, he is stuck because he cannot pay back the loan which he has taken for his trade or whatever it is. There we can step in because these policies are essentially low cost and it can be distributed through either directly through our branch or through the bank. So Bankassurance is a very important channel in distributing rural insurance products in this country.
So banking channels should be there.
Absolutely.
So do you think that this has created, since if we talk about the Nepali scenario, then most of the banks are not being able to reach to those grassroots level. Do you think that?
Well, I wouldn't be able to say anything about the banking industry here because banking industry is totally different. But I believe, which two or three couple of conversations which I have been with bankers ever since I came here, there's a lot of effort on the part of the bank to reach out to unbanked areas, rural areas with hitherto has not been accessed, and when they reach there, it will be our also interest to see to that those channels also distribute low cost, optimum priced, very carefully selected rural insurance product.
I want to know something more on the Indian side. What about the India?
India, it's a typical developing economy again, and the non-life industry is growing at about 12 to 13%. In Nepal and India, in fact in most of the SORC countries, the one issue remains common. That is the penetration of non-life products has been very low. See, the penetration ideally in the Western world, the penetration is about 3%, 2.5%. And when I'm talking about the penetration, I'm saying that premium on the GDP expressed as a ratio. In Nepal as well as in India, it is below 1%. So this is a huge challenge before the insurance industry, both in Nepal and in India.
So economic development of the country is hampering.
It's not economic development of the country which is hampering. GDP growth is happening, but a ratio of the insurance premium as on the GDP is the indicator for the penetration. So this is the challenge in the sense that has to be addressed by creating more awareness of insurance product, making people positive towards insurance as a risk management tool. So there's a lot of things that insurance industry should be doing to make people aware of that. We believe one of the reasons for low penetration is the lack of awareness of the products. And the perceived complexity, people believe that when a claim comes, you ask a lot of questions.
What is the reason behind this? Because this is not in the infant stage. This sector is not in the infant stage. It has grown up, right?
Yes.
So what is the reason behind that we are not been able to move towards those people, let's say?
There are 2-3 things. One is that trust. You have to generate the trust of the people that when I pay a premium and when I take a policy, when a claim comes, insurance companies will be paying it with the least hassles. Today you perceive it as the insurance companies would be a lot of asking unnecessary questions and probably they end up not paying. They're trying not to make a payment. It's not so. Insurance company would like to settle the claims as quick and as prompt and accurately as possible. So that trust gap has to be addressed. It's point number one. Point number, people have to be familiarized with the various options of taking rural insurance product. For example, earthquake. Let us take a case which is a major threat to Nepal. When I take my home insurance, my earthquake can be included at a low cost. When I insure my shop, earthquake is also included. When I insure my small and medium enterprise, earthquake can also be covered. So people should come forward to insuring their assets against natural calamities, including earthquake.
So you just pinpointed the earthquake, right? Nepal went through the massive earthquake that year 2015. Did this hamper the business or not?
No, I wouldn't say
and
that.
What kind of, since national insurance, it had brought the company had brought the scheme for those victims as well. What kind of schemes were brought? How it hampered?
Yeah, actually, the main scheme was we had received about 900 and odd claims for loss or damage to earthquake. So our main thrust was settling those claims as quickly as possible and with least kind of procedures and processes. So that we were substantially successful in that. Now only about 40-50 claims are pending, where the repair and renewals are going on and the final bills have not come through. So we've been able to address substantially most of those claims, much to the satisfaction of our customers. So that has been the major thrust of National Insurance Company when faced with this kind of a disaster.
Do you have any some future plans regarding national insurance policies? Something new future plan for the...
We have plans to develop digital reach out to the customers using online presence portals and all that. That is one thing. Second is we would like to improve procedures and process of claim settlement, making it much more friendlier to the insurance company. So we have a lot of plans. In fact, this is National Insurance Kathmandu operations are very important to us in back in head office. We put a lot of attention and a lot of focus in.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much to the audience, and we will be right back with our another guest. Please do stay with us. Welcome back to the audience once again in the program Guest in Town. Now in this section we have our next guest, and he is also from India, and in this section also we are going to discuss on the insurance, and we have our guest of honor, our guest K.V. Vijay Srinivas, and he is the General Manager of National Insurance Company Limited. Let me welcome him. Welcome sir, welcome to Nepal.
Thank you very much.
How are you sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
What is the basic purpose of this visit?
This was to attend basically the South Asian Regulators, Insurance Regulators Conference, and also the insurance meet. So this has been scheduled for 12th and 13th, and came to attend that. And plus we have a presence here in a big way, and for us it's an important location, so wanted to have a look at what is happening here with our operations.
So what is happening here?
Oh, a lot of things are happening. I think a lot of changes are happening in the insurance field. It's growing. There's a lot of potential which is being shown, and I find there's a lot of enthusiasm amongst the players, and the regulators are also actively involved in setting the things in place, whatever things are required to be done to have an orderly growth of this industry.
Is the business growing in Nepal?
Yes, absolutely. Year on year, I think there's been a good growth, which is a good sign. I think it's a sunrise industry here.
What about the awareness level of the Nepali people regarding this insurance?
See, insurance in most of the developing countries, and that includes India, Nepal as well, insurance awareness levels are not very high. See, to my mind, insurance is a high necessity but low priority item and low awareness item for most people. Many reasons. One is poverty levels, the affordability. And the first priority goes to the basic needs, food, clothing, shelter. And after that is reached, then people start thinking about other things. I mean, I can't imagine somebody saying, I'll forgo my lunch today so that I can pay an insurance premium.
Right.
So that's this thing. But as and when, as things go, I'm sure that position will change. There'll be a lot of developments on this field also. And awareness is also increasing. And now I believe here in Nepal, motor third-party insurance is mandatory, it's compulsory. So that, is an entry point for people to get to know insurance. And that's how it happens everywhere. So we have a long way to go, and that's what makes it exciting. And
so
that's
what
why
about in India? In India is also the same problem, or there is something big difference in that?
India, the problems are almost the same. Awareness levels are still quite low in many places with many people. As I said, affordability is also quite low with many sections. And it's only now that people have started looking at insurance actively. And there the growing fields are motor insurance and health insurance. Health insurance is a major fuel for growth because of increasing medical costs, which is driving people to look at health insurance in a big way.
What about the lower class people?
Lower class, it's basically again these two factors which come into play: awareness, and even if there is awareness, affordability. And what has happened is, in India at least, government has come in with some major schemes for health insurance, for accident insurance, and so on and so forth, covering specifically the lower class, the below poverty level sections of the society. So through them, through these schemes, awareness is slowly rising.
So what kind of schemes are you talking about? Do you have some strategic plans, or do you have some core idea of that, so that Nepal also can implement such kind of policy?
Yes, the basic things which affect individuals, corporates will take care of their interests. They know what is to be done and how things are to be done. But when it comes to individuals, there are schemes like personal accident. It's a very simple scheme, easy to understand, and easy to implement, and low cost. That's one thing which can and is a must for every individual. There is health insurance, which is a must for everybody. And in view of these earthquakes which have happened in Nepal, and natural disasters taking up in various places, earthquakes have happened in India, floods have happened, and so on and so forth. Perhaps household insurance is one thing which is a necessity, where houses can be covered and contents can be covered. The premium is not much, and as the base increases, as more and more people come into the scheme, premiums will keep coming down. So these are 2-3 important things which I think should
Need to be
in Nepal,
as well as
in India and other developing countries. And agriculture and rural insurance.
That is the basic thing.
Yes,
to develop. Right.
So those are areas which we need to address. There are a lot of issues there in implementing and highlighting.
What kind of issues?
You see, these are all dispersed over large areas. For instance, a cow could be located, hundreds of miles away from a veterinary doctor or from any agency who can identify These are problems of identification, and at the time of a claim, if the animal dies, how do we go and see whether it has actually died, or what is the cause for death, and all those things. So these are issues which are there, but these are major fuel areas where there could be a good growth in insurance, and which would be essential for people also.
What about national insurance? Is it doing in this sector as well?
National, yes, we do have a presence. And
what is the outcome, let's say?
Well, here in Nepal, perhaps it's at an early stage, because the entire area has to develop. In fact, yesterday there was a meeting there was a panel discussion on this, agriculture and rural insurance. So many interesting ideas came up, and there were a distinguished panel of group of panelists who came up with various ideas. Some people were already working on crop insurance, or working on rural insurance. So we would also like to be actively partnering these things. It's something which is required for the society,
Yes.
and it would directly affect the poor and the individual farmers, the individual persons in the rural areas. For many, it would be a source of income. And anything which affects that would definitely have a direct bearing on their livelihood.
At last, what is the importance of insurance to those people who are watching this show?
As I said, insurance is a high priority area. In the sense, it gives security. It affords peace of mind. Once you have insurance, God forbid any calamity should overtake anybody, but if it happens, there should be something which can put the person back on rails. Medical expenses, for instance. In most developing countries, medical expenses constitute a huge portion of the person's income and assets. People sell off all their assets to take care of their medical expenses. Now, with an insurance policy, a substantial portion of that can be saved, and he can go on with his activity as before once he recovers from the ailment. Similarly, in other areas also, a person in business, he needs to protect himself in the event of a calamity. There's a flood, there's a fire, anything that can happen, a burglary, a theft. If he's protected against those things, a substantial portion of his losses can be recovered, and he is put on the same place back.
If someone wants to get insurance policy through national insurance, then what should he or she do?
Oh, we have, you can contact any of our offices. We have a large number of agents and relationship managers, branches, so can contact any of them. We have a presence in Kathmandu as well as in many of the districts. So, most welcome. We would be happy to service and serve.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you as well, the audience, for your time. Today we discussed on the insurance policy, and do stay with us for more news and entertainment packages. Stay tuned to Himalaya Television. Namaste.